Ladies and gentlemen, would like to welcome you out to Chapin's Track and Field. Today we have your Chapin Eagles running against the Airport Eagles, our rival Mid-Carolina Rebels, as well from the upstate, the Union Yellow Jackets. If you're just tuning in, we just went on air. There's been a couple of races that have already taken place. Just a real quick recap. Our girls 4x100 meter relay, first place was Airport. Chapin took second, Mid-Carolina took third, and unfortunately Union took fourth. And then on our boys 4x100 meter relay, Chapin came in first, Union came in second, and Mid-Carolina came in third. It's a beautiful day out here. It's a little breezy, as you'll hear through the microphone. The wind's blowing, but I'll tell you, it's nice and warm out here. It's sunny. Nice little breeze. Really going to enjoy it this afternoon. We're going to bring you as many of the races as possible. But this track meet, we're going to bring you some of the high jump, the long jump, triple jump. We'll give you updates from all the field events throughout the meet today. My counterpart, Chris Watson, will be joining us shortly. But we are glad that you're tuning in. This is the last meet of the regular season, and they will be following up, participating in the regional meet next week. And then hopefully out of that, the individual will be qualifying for the qualifying race, and then we should have some that will actually make it all the way to the state championship. So a great sport, gives an opportunity for so many different athletes. If running's not your specialty, you can jump, you can run, you can throw the shot put and discus. It's just a great sport to get as many. Oh, sorry about that technical difficulty. With all this wind blowing around, it's created a little bit of problems. Everybody knows in the area this past weekend we had some tornadoes hitting the area and lost power. For some of us it was even more desperate. We lost cable and we lost internet. So I think a lot of people ended up using a lot of their data this weekend. But like I said, it's a gorgeous day. If you're in the area, I highly recommend you to come out. We've also got girls soccer that will be taking place in a few minutes. It's a great atmosphere. And just to catch you back up, we just an event 4, boys 4x800 medley relay. Chapin just took first place, and our other Chapin team is currently in second with about 220 yards left. Followed by Union, and then with Mid-Carolina, but it looks like Mid-Carolina is making a move on the backstretch, trying to fight for that third place. With first and second definitely in hand. Looks like it's a good battle. Up, and we have a change from fourth place, third. Oh, now we have a sprint coming down the home stretch. It was Union. Mid-Carolina caught him on the turn, and then he kicked it in for the final stretch. And in third place, you've got the Union Yellow Jackets, followed by Mid-Carolina Rebels.
Okay, you put the hurdles on lanes 1 and 2, please.
Now our next race will be the girls 100 meter hurdles. And as they're getting ready for that, this is a combination. They don't call it jumping. You're not supposed to jump it. You're supposed to stride it. You're supposed to run over them. You want a 3-step if possible, but a lot of times with the legs just not quite the length that they need for that stride. So some of the girls will actually change it up, and they will do a 4 count. And when they do a 4 count, they actually alternate legs. It's extremely difficult, but when they're able to do it, and they're efficient, they can be very, very fast. So very shortly we will have the girls 100 meter hurdles. We'll be having 2 heats there. Our fastest heat will run first, and then we'll be followed by our second heat.
Foul call. Girls triple and foul call. Boys long jump. Remember, if you're running
In our first heat,
you're doing the 100, check
in lane 2, we'll have Haley Hankins from Chapin, a 9th grader. We'll have Katie Smith from Mid-Carolina, also a 9th grader. Alexa Stinson from Union County, a 11th grader. And then Kaylin Laff, a 10th grader for Chapin, followed up with 2 Mid-Carolina, Carissa Wicker and Jessica Franklin. In the meantime, we'll try to keep you a little bit of updates on how the pole vault's going. Right now they are using this end. They're going into the wind a little bit, which could be a little difficult. Looks like they're not going to be using the other end right now. They've also, on the far end of the track in the infield, they've started with the girls' high jump. And on the other side of the field, directly behind us, we have the boys' long jump taking place. As you can hear through the microphone, the wind is definitely whipping. We're even having some issues over at the headquarters with our tent, the beautiful Chapin Track and Cross Country tent. Unfortunately, with all the wind and hitting the sides, it's difficult to keep it up and going. But as we said, getting ready to get started. It looks like the gun is up for the first heat of the girls' 100-meter hurdles. There he goes, and they're off. It looks like Kaylin from Chapin took first. Then Mid-Carolina, Katie Smith, followed up by Haley Hankins. Now, once again, these are all unofficial results. When you have multiple heats, someone can win from any heat. Doesn't matter if you run in the first heat or if you run in the 3rd, 4th, 5th heat. It all goes by times. It's a great sport. It's all on you and your ability. Doesn't matter what grade you're in, as you're going to hear throughout the broadcast. We have a lot of younger kids, 9th, 10th graders. And in some instances, you might even hear a couple of 8th graders. Once again, it comes down to times. We would like to thank some of our Eagle Club sponsors. Our Stoke trainers. They can help you with any of your automobile needs. Lake Murray Driving Academy. And you heard the gun in the background. Now we're the second heat for the women's 100-meter hurdles. And then first was Nasia Redding from Airport, followed up by Briesa Lester from Airport, an 8th grader. Both of them were 8th graders. And then followed up with Georgia Brownfield from Chapin and Abby Davis from Chapin. Next event, number 6, boys 110-meter hurdles.
Okay, hold on.
Now, as you just heard, he said hurdle crew. They'll be asking them to move the hurdle height up a little bit higher than the girls. And if you've ever had a chance to see the hurdles ran, you'll see them knocked. And I've had people ask me before, is there any penalty for hitting the hurdles? No, there's not. But if they perceive that you're actually trying to hit it, it's called it, to step on it, to knock it down, yes, you can be penalized. But you don't really want to touch it. You do want to be as close as possible. You want to be low. There are even some coaches out there that will take a bamboo stick and put it a couple of feet above the hurdle, and it'll tell you to try to go up under there, because the closer you can get down to the hurdle, the faster you're going to be. And I'll tell you, in this wind right now, if you're going into that headwind and you jump, it'll be like a kite. It'll stop you a little bit, so you want to be as low as and that body lean as you can. The boys will also have 2 heats. And we'll start off with heat 1 and lane 1. There's Adam Paris, for 11th grader from Chapin. Forrest Ward, a 10th grader from Chapin. Ryan Norwood, an 8th grader from Chapin. Colby Samuels, a 12th grader from Mid-Carolina. Will Laura, 10th grader from Chapin. Noah Rankin, 10th grader from Chapin. And Lai Garden Still from Union County, 11th grader. I was told earlier today about Ryan Norwood. He's an up-and-coming runner. He's only in the 8th grade, but as you see, he's making it into the top heats of the hurdles, which is pretty impressive. Boys are down there. They're trying to get their steps, trying to use their blocks to make sure that they're lined up so they hit that first hurdle in stride. Because if you mess up on the first hurdle, then it automatically messes you up for the rest of the race and hard to come back. So I know you can't see it via the camera, but I was just watching some of the girls do the pole vault, and we've had some very successful jumps, very close. Once again, in pole vaulting, you can hit the pole provided the pole doesn't, or the bar, I should say, provided the bar doesn't come down and fall.
Hurdles are ready. Thank you, hurdle crew.
I see the starter is up on the steps so everybody can see him. So we're getting ready to get started with the boys 110 hurdles. And once again, from the inside lane, you'll have Adam Paris, Forrest Wood, Ryan Norwood, Colby Samuels, Will Laura, Noah Rankin, Lai Garden Still. It looks like we're having a little difficulty for the start. Once again, we want to reach out and express our thanks to our sponsors. Generations is another one of our big sponsors. Bojangles, Sonic, and now we're back to action. The gun is up, and he's getting ready to get the boys started for the hurdles. And they're off. And we have a false start. When you hear the double gunshot, that means it's been a false start, and they're calling them back to the line. It could have been somebody could have flinched, somebody could have started a little early. Big shout out to Asa for all of his help. He is a one-man crew. He set this entire production up by himself today. This wouldn't be possible if we did not have our students coming out and helping us get everything set up. They put a lot of time and effort, and it's all volunteer. They don't receive the recognition in front of everybody like a lot of the athletes do. They don't receive a letter. It's just their time and effort. Some of them are here every single night, it seems like. Up, and they're off. And it looks like there's a photo finish. We will get the results as soon as possible. But that might have been a Chapin clean sweep. Once again, as I remind you, you can win or you can place out of any heat. We'll get ready to get started with the second heat. And then lane one, we have Aaron Parman from Union, Jackson Livingston from Mid-Carolina, Clay All from Chapin, Adam Beatonball from Chapin, Desmond Hubert from Union, Marshall Johnson from Mid-Carolina, and Will Martin from Chapin. And once again, I'll point out that we have a 8th grader, Clay All. I'm going to correct that because I'm pretty sure Clay All is a 9th grader. But we don't have any juniors or seniors representing Chapin in the hurdles. Our boys tennis is also in action tonight. We'll do everything we can to give you updates on that. And I just heard the gun go off for the second heat of the boys 110-meter hurdles. Also heard the big clap in the background for John Coleman Ward clearing a height. Oh, we had a spill. We had a spill by Marshall Johnson from Mid-Carolina. Got up, still finished the race. His counterpart, Jackson Livingston, took first place in that heat. But once again, it still does come down. It comes down to the times. Now the hurdle crew will dash out there to lower them to get them ready for the intermediate hurdles. When it's time for them to go, they'll clear it so we can get started for the girls' 100-meter dash, the fastest race of the day.
100-meter girls before the starting line. 100-meter boys before the starting line. First call, 1,600 girls, 1,600 boys. First call, 1,600 girls, 1600 boys. First call, 400 meter girls, 400 meter boys. First call. Okay, drop the ball down when you get them in, please. Drop the ball all the way down.
Once again, it takes a lot of volunteers to run a track meet. We had one of our Chapin girls clear her height and cleared it by several inches. A lot of times they will try to get in a lower height just to get one recorded, and they'll actually pass on the next couple of heights and wait until it gets higher. For our girls 100-meter dash, in lane 1, we'll have Ashley Pate, 10th grader from Chapin. Amira Belk, 7th grader from Chapin. Cameron Silwa, 10th grader from Union. Jalen Jameson, 8th grader from Airport. Kayla Toby, from Mid Carolina, 9th grader. Juliana Smith, 8th grader from Union. Mary Grace Rich, 11th grader from Chapin. And Sega Dreer, a 7th grader from Chapin. Hopefully you support our sponsors. They don't just support the football program, they support all athletics. Our Eagle Club gives money and support to all of the teams that are associated with Chapin Athletics. We have Richardson Heating and Air, Rusty Todd. Please give him a call for all your heating and air needs. Just heard the gun go off for the 100 dash for the girls. And this is a fast race, and it looks like in the lead is Mid Carolina. Kayla Toby, Mid Carolina, a 9th grader. One more heat of the girls. I apologize, turn the sheet. We have 5 total heats. In the second heat, we have Jordan Ray, 7th grader. Treasure Morton, Union. Gracie Bates, Chapin. Bella Martin, 8th grader from Chapin. Kanana Macbeth from Union. Katie Bogzar from Chapin, 11th grader. Kaylee Marchese, a 9th grader from Chapin. And Elena Ruff, 10th grader, Chapin. And the starter has his hand up, has the gun up. Bringing them set, and they're off. And we got a tight battle right here between Union, Macbeth, and Bella Martin. And I think, unfortunately, Bella might have been edged out, but it was still a very good race. We'll have the official results as soon as they do come in. And our third heat, we have Katie Gotti, the 7th grader Chapin. Caitlin Mims, 9th grader Chapin. Madison Snyder, 11th grade Chapin. Issa Williams, Mid Carolina. Morgan Guyard, Chapin. Shelby Jumper, 9th grader Chapin. Bethany Lindler, 8th grade Chapin.
Y'all need to go to the outside of the infield. Any athletes just sitting in the infield observing needs to go to the outside of the infield. If you're not waiting on an event, please go to the outside of the infield. Thank you.
Third heat is off. And this actually looks like it's going to be a clean sweep for all of the Chapin athletes, since we have nothing but Chapin participating in there. In the fourth heat, we have Gilly Rayner, an 8th grader Chapin. Sophia Lyles, 8th grader Chapin. Skylar Ammons, 12th grader from Mid Carolina. Ruby Fisher, 9th grader from Chapin. Susanna Garcia, 10th grader Chapin. Caitlin Isenauer, 12th grader Chapin. Ilitana Kozuyo, 9th grader Chapin. If I mispronounced it, I do apologize. I will try to make an effort to find out the correct pronunciation. But the gun's up and we're off. I do not see the Mid Carolina participants, so once again it looks like it's going to be a clean sweep. And that looks like it was Caitlin Isenhauser, 12th grader, won that heat. A pretty fast race at that one. Now we've got heat 5. Starting off with Camelia Elmore, 8th grader, Airport. Reese Adams, 10th grader, Chapin. Monica Sanchez, 11th grader, Chapin. Garcia Splitgerber, 12th grader, Chapin. Zayler Bailey's, 8th grader, Chapin. Rachel Gahindai, 9th grader, Chapin. Asa Henderson, 7th grader, Airport. Well, as I've had a chance to look over at the pole vaulters, it's definitely the heights are going up. I see more participants coming in. Like I said, there's a lot of them that they won't take a chance with the small or the lower heights because they don't want to have a stumble, because that could affect the overall placement. The gun is up for the last heat of the girls, and they're off. And it looks like Airport, Aisha Henderson, is in first, followed by Kama Elmore from Airport. And like I said, we'll come up with the finals results very shortly. All right, we've got some official results coming in now, as we've got a little bit of break in the action before the boys 100-meter dash. girls 4x800 meter relay, Chapin took first place. Mid-Carolina took second place. And the boys, just a second, I apologize, let's go in order. Boys 4x800 meter relay. We had the Chapin boys A win. Union came in second, Mid-Carolina, and then Chapin came in fourth. Just to let everybody know, if you watched it, you saw that Chapin actually finished first and second, but in a relay, you can't take two teams from the same team can't take higher results if there's other teams there. So that's why I was calling them out. They actually took second, but for scoring purposes, they take fourth. Then we have the girls 100 meter hurdles. And we have Niza Reading from Airport, an 8th grader with an 18.27 winning. We have Kaylin Laff, 10th grader from Chapin, taking second. Katie Smith, 9th grader from Mid-Carolina, took third. Carissa Wicker, 9th grader from Mid-Carolina, took fourth. Haley Hankins, 9th grader, took 5th place. To finish out the top 7, they didn't score because we're only scoring the top 5 places. We have Abby Davis and Georgia Brownfield. Then our boys 100 meter hurdles. We have Noah Rankin, Chapin, Will Laura, Chapin, Ryan Norwood, Chapin. I'll get back to the results quickly. Really quick right there was the first heat of the boys 100 meter dash. In lane 1 was Xavier Gordon, Chapin, Jacob Harmon, Mid-Carolina, Jack Edwards, Mid-Carolina, Stephen Nesbitt, Airport, Elijah Wilson, Chapin, Luciana Woos, Chapin, Connor Lehman, Chapin, and Tyson Thompson, Chapin. Now heat 2, we'll have Jackson Owens from Chapin, Joseph Glover, Mid-Carolina, Josh Wells, Chapin, Troy Richburg, Mid-Carolina, Cooper Evans, Chapin, Will Hagler, Chapin, and Ryan Norwood. I just had Ryan Norwood in the finals for the boys 110 meter hurdles. I'll go back to the finish there. We had Noah Rankin from Chapin with a time of 19.11. Winning right behind him was Will Laura with a 19.12. Ryan Norwood, 8th grader, Chapin, 19.33 in 3rd place. Marshall Johnson from Mid-Carolina took 4th. Forrest Ward took 5th place for Chapin, finished out by Adams Paris from Chapin, Clay All, Adam Beanball, and Jackson Livingston. Now the gun has been fired. Heat 2 is finishing up. We'll have the final results there. Looks like Troy Richburg or Joseph Glover from Mid-Carolina might have taken that heat. In heat 3, we have Tyler McCrae, Jason Jenkins from Chapin, Connor Calder from Chapin, Cooper Edenfield from Chapin, Jamal Wallington from Union, and Noah Rankin from Chapin.
Long time no see. It's been a long time. Talking about you the other day.
Really?
Yeah, because Chris Watson went on the
Sorry about that. There's a bit of a break in the action. We just finished up with the third heat. Now we'll move on to the fourth of 6 heats. We also had Josh Oakley in the third heat from Chapin participate just in the 100 boys. Now we have in lane 1 Chris Haley, 9th grader Chapin. NQ Hewitt Chapin. Stephen Kalawaski Chapin. Aiden Kitchens, 10th grader. Dawson Bates, 12th grader Chapin. Cody Flynn, 10th grader Chapin. And Max Stewart, 9th grader Chapin. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Chapin's going to win this heat. The gun is up, and they're off. We have Chapin in the lead. Yes, that was good. But through the finish line, they say in track that the finish line is actually past the finish line, that you want to run all the way through it. In our 5th heat, we have in lane 1, Colin Seacrest, 9th grader, Jackson McCutcheon, 9th grader, Richie McKissick, 10th grader, Noah Morris, 9th grader, Chris Gleaton, 12th grader from Chapin. All of those are from Chapin. And then we have Zy Darden Savage from Union and AJ Kuskro Chapin. I'm pretty sure that's not how you pronounce AJ. I do apologize, but I'll do the best to find out the proper pronunciation. And the gun is up. And they're off. And that was Zaya Darden Savage that took first place in that heat from Union, followed up by a plethora of Chapin runners. Our last and final heat, heat 6, we have Jay Kanakadin Kennard Airport, Collins Saki Airport, Prescott Lindsay Union, Trey Stevenson Chapin, Acavius Mobley Union, Ross Cottonzone Chapin, Maddox Harold Chapin. And the gun is up. Set, and they're off. And this is the last one, and it is Union Prescott Lindsay, first place. We'll have the final results as quickly as possible. All right, event number 9, girls 1,600 meter run. Just for the ones that are not familiar, exactly what it is, 16 meters is a mile. And some of us around here are not going to go a mile unless we're on wheels, preferably with an engine. A few minutes ago, you had a chance to watch a little bit of the long jump. And if you've ever watched a long jump, the key is to hit that board, as they call it, which is typically in white in nature. And you want to go all the way to the tip of it. You can't go past it. Any part of your foot goes past the tip, then it's called a foul. But you want to be as close to the end of it. Because if you step on the back, the jumper a few minutes ago, he jumped and he left on the back side of the Cody Dedmuds, Chapin, Chase Wilson Airport, and Zion Morton Union. And we're back to action. And believe it or not, everybody, hold on to your seats. Even turn the volume up. We are in the presence of greatness. Mr. Christopher Watts is here.
Hey, Richard.
How you doing, Chris?
Great, man. How about you?
Good.
Sorry for my tardiness.
Not a problem. Well, as you see that we are in event 10, the boys 1,600 meter race. And as you see, we've got 34 runners. I call that a plethora.
That is a bunch of runners. 34 all running the 1,600 meter. Wow.
Well, they say it's listed 34. I'm not sure if there's actually 34 there. And we even had one that was leaning forward and we could get a quick start.
That's a ton of kids, Richard.
That's a ton of kids. That's a ton of kids, as I said before, that want to run a distance that I will not run. And I won't travel unless I've got wheels under it.
I need more like a hand truck to move me along a mile.
This year we've had, or this week, Chris, we've had a chance to show some pole vaulting and some long jumps.
How are we doing on the pole vault? Has they got the Hodges and Jacob Dixon in that group yet?
No, I haven't seen any yet. They're just starting to really height up a little bit. I think a lot of them, we're just trying to get a height clear. None of the better boys, they haven't really gotten into it yet. As I said before, you can skip a height and come in later. The way they figure that out, if you get 3 attempts at each height, once you do not clear that height with 3 attempts, then the height that you did clear, they go back to that. And they look at your total misses. So for some of them, they want to get a jump in the books just so they get a little bit of practice. But they don't want to take a chance of messing up because if they don't make it, it could hurt them in their total.
Right. I saw that Unger for Chapin girls pole vaulter finished 7th at the Bojangles, which is the old Taco Bell.
Taco Bell over at Spring Valley.
Yeah, she finished 7th. I forgot how many contestants there were, but those kids come from all over the southeast, and which is a big kudos for her. I think she'll be in the running for possible state championship in the pole vaulting. She's the current pole vaulting record holder here at Chapin.
And then she'll take her accolades with her and become a catamount, Western Carolina.
Is that where she's going on it? Or she was going to Western?
Yep, she's going to Western Carolina and is going to be up with some of her other Chapin former athletes. Jordan Dawson, one of our almost star girl soccer player, is up there playing.
Man, just talk about that Dawsey family. Man, you got Jordan at Western Carolina and Smith at USC playing soccer, and you got Ethan's a junior here at Chapin's got a great future in front of him, and then you got behind him you got the rising freshman. I guess next year Arliss is will be a freshman and great soccer player himself.
Great students, just an all-around good family. It's not just athletics, but it's everything. Put everything in perspective.
So the kid running out front here in the mile, that's Jalen Kingsley, and Jalen is, I think, out of I want to say it was close to 300 competitors over at the Bojangles Classic, formerly known as Taco Bell. I think Jaden finished 32nd, if memory serves me correctly. Let me check my notes here. Go, Jaden.
shot down to get a ball twist.
Well, it looks like the boys' long jump has been completed. They will be going to triple jump short. Never had a chance to watch the triple jump. They have some shots for you this week. Hop, skip, jump. It's very difficult once again fly out there, Chris.
Let's see here.
Yeah, we were talking about the number of runners in this event right here. And as we talked about last broadcast, just the sheer number of students that participate in track, all the various events. No longer, it doesn't matter if you're fast or if you've got endurance, jump, there's always a place for you. How many Chapin athletes do we have out here on the track team right now?
I want to say it's close to 130. I want to say it's like 70 plus girls, females, and about 60 males. Jaden Kingsley just finished first by, here comes the second place finisher. So he finished first by 200 meters or so. I was looking back at my notes. Jaden actually finished, let's see, he finished 19, he finished 29th out of 120 runners in the 1600 this past weekend over at Spring Valley.
What grade's he?
He's a junior, and he runs cross country, and he excels at cross country as well. Trains really hard, trains in the off season. His dad's a runner. Also, he's a really good student.
Jaden. 10 times you run. What'd you run?
I don't know.
What are you
I was
normally
trying to run
run?
it fast last split,
Right.
so I was hoping to be like 58.
Okay.
I don't know what it is yet.
Good job.
We just got notification that pole vault minus 9.6.
Rich, the great thing about this sport, there's something for everyone. You know, whether you want to throw something, you want to
Switching.
jump over something, you want to, you got speed or you got distance. There's something for everyone within track. And of course, we're coached by Coach LeGrand. I think LeGrand's on his 38th, 39th year here at Chapin. He's the head coach. The coach on the sprinters for a long time. Has been here about 20 years, so got a lot of experience. Got Coach Pat is coaching the 100, 200 meter guys. This is his first year on the team, and then Coach Fran Ricks is doing the triple jump and the long jump. So got a lot of experience on the staff.
Let's don't forget Jay Dixon on the pole vault. Auburn Tiger collegiate participant in the pole vault.
And Jay does an extremely good job with these guys. I mean, of course, pole vaulting's a lot of technique. People think you just go out there and grab a pole and jump. It's not that. I'm a guy that likes to push the envelope. Don't care about bungee jumping or jumping off high things, but I would not get on the end of that pole.
Today we've already seen a few of them land on it. Hurt their elbows a little bit. You gotta be fearless, especially as the height goes up.
Right.
Think about it, this is at 9.6. When it's 10 feet, think about a basketball goal. Getting to the top of the basketball goal and say, I'm gonna jump off and land on my back.
That's right. Yeah, that would not be a pretty sight for me.
We also have what you can't see because they're down home a bit. We also have shot put distance taking place. Yeah, everybody thinks, oh, that's the big ones.
Was Randolph the one that went to, was he at NC State? One of those Bowers, I think, went to NC State.
This is the first call for the boys and girls 400 meter hurdle. Right now we're on all girls
This is a great event here. I think that we're getting ready to run the 400, Richard. All right, so we're getting ready to start the 400 meter. Girls on the track first. This is a great event. I actually have a son that previously has ran with the track team and run the 400. Back when I was in high school, this was considered a distance event for someone that didn't have any speed. But now this thing is basically a sprinter event. So
this is, as you said, this is a tough race because you have to combine speed with endurance. And when they come down that home stretch, they're starting to tighten up. That's tough. They got to sprint the whole way. You'll see that even in the Olympians, you know, it's an all-out sprint. It used to be more of an endurance, but it's not quite that much. Now here at this level, it's still a little bit of an endurance.
and you'll see when the boys come on the track, there's a kid named Connor Laban that's a freshman. Connor's just within tenths of a second for breaking the Chapin record. So this is our last regular season event, so we'll see if he can do that tonight. Connor's an exceptional athlete. He's you know, multi-talented, good football player. Started on varsity as a freshman. His brother Taylor's a good athlete. His dad was an athlete, played Division II football, I think at Grand Valley State. So we'll see if Connor can do something special here tonight.
All right, in the girls, heat 1, we have Jilliana Smith from Union, Kate Stebbins from Chapin, April Smith from Union, Jayla Jameson, Airport. We have Haley Miller, Chapin, Mary Grace Rich, Chapin, Haven Morton, Union, Gracie Bates, Chapin. You know, this is still one of those races that, as we said, becomes sort of in the middle. You'll see some of them, they'll have starting blocks out there for them. And so they're looking at it as I want to get a good, fast start sprint. And you'll have other ones that are typically long distance and they'll be doing a stand up. Thank you so much for the results. Okay. I'll give you the quick results for the girls. 100 meter dash. In 5th place, we have Ashley Pate, Chapin. In 6th place, we have Bella, Chapin. Bella Martin, Chapin. Then we have Kayla Toby, Mid-Carolina in 2nd. And in 1st place with a 13.19 from Union, we had Kana Macbeth.
That's a pretty decent time. 13.19. Wow, and she's a 10th grader too. Wow.
It's good to see those low 13s. We had 3 of them, 13.19, 13.20, 13.26.
The name that sticks out to me is the finished third. That's Bella Martin. Her dad, Pat Martin, is the sprint coach here. Bella set the triple jump or long jump record as a freshman. I mean, as a 7th grader last year.
You know, we had alluded to a little bit earlier about the jumps. Speed's very important, but it's also the timing to hit that board and maximize that distance. And that's tough to do.
That's right.
All right, real quick, I'll give the boys results for the 100 meter. In 5th place, Jacob Harmon, Mid-Carolina. Xavier Gordon, Chapin. Connor Lehman, Chapin. Olajuwon Wilson, Chapin. And with a 11.04, Stephen Nesbitt, Airport.
Man.
11.04 is fast at the high school level.
It's about as fast as I am chasing these papers where the wind just blew it off. All right, we're getting ready to start the girls 400. Girls are in the blocks. There's the gun.
Looks like out to a quick lead. I think that's Airport. Jalen Jameson. She was the #1 seed coming in with a 56.36.
That's a good time, 56.36. I mean, that's boyish times. And she's staying strong. She's in she's between turn 2 and 3 or 3 and 4. Here she comes into turn 4. She's probably got about a 25-meter lead. And she's stretching out, man. She's got a nice kick. Here she goes.
I think that's followed up by Haley Miller.
Yep, that's right.
Ninth grader.
Haley's dad helps with the hurdles here at Chapin. Richard, the girl in lane 2, Kate Stebbins there. You and I coached her in softball.
Yes. But look at that.
Yeah, she had a great kick coming down the end too.
She was always fast, even playing softball.
Right.
She was fast, but it goes to show that the finish line is not at the tape, it's past it.
That's right.
She could have easily given up right there, but she pushed it in and was able to nudge out the girl from you. Okay, heat 2, we got Sarah Easter, Airport, Angie Way, Airport, Issa Williams, Mid Carolina, Monica Sanchez, Chapin, Ashley Miller, Chapin, Crystal Simpson, Fletcher, Airport, and Yadel Jean Lewis, Union. Quick update on the boys. I'll give you the girls' results after the girls' 100-meter dash.
I'll give a shout out to Gunther Shirley and our hurdle crew here at Chapin today. This is a team that I've been a part of for a long time. And tonight I have an opportunity to be on the mic versus be on the hurdle. So, Gunther, would you like to speak something on the radio? No, he's going to pass on that. So, because I'm here with you tonight, Richard, I'm not on the hurdle crew.
We're streaming it on YouTube. Yeah, so that camera, we just moved it.
All right, guys, I'm sorry I stepped away from the mic for a second. The second heat is 400 is finishing up now. Man, got some nice kicks coming down the backstretch here. Looks like Chapin finished first in that heat. Matter of fact, I think 4 of the 5 were Chapin girls running the 400 there. So next on the track is the boys 400. Let's see who's running that. I might have to wait and give that to you because Richard's got that with him. He stepped away for a minute. This is a great event. So this is when I was referencing earlier that not sure Connor Lehman's going to be in this heat, but there'll be a chance that Connor Lehman will have a chance to break the Chapin record. Looks like he's going to be in the second heat. Got some nice sized teams here with Union County and Chapin and Mid Carolina Airport. Well, I'm not sure of the height, but Jacob Dixon well cleared that height, and that might be the 9.6 height. But then the pole caught the crossbar on the way down. All right, so I'm gonna grab the 400 here in the first heat. We got Jackson McCutcheon from Chapin, freshman. Prescott Lindsay, 8th grader, Union County. Chris Gleaton, senior, Chapin. Brenton Gray, 10th grader, Mid Carolina. Jason Jenkins, 10th grader, Chapin. Zacchaeus Glenn, 8th grader, Union County. And Justin Hedgepath, 8th grader, Mid Carolina.
Hedgepath, Mid Carolina.
Here we go. There's the gun. Richard, one name I don't see is Connor Lehman. Is he not going to run it?
Maybe he's running other events.
Huh. Okay. Possibly won't be able to see any history tonight. Out the pack there, looks like you got Union County in first. Take it, that's Union County. And we got Mid Carolina. Richard, who was kind enough to give us the generators? I see we got 3. All 3 of those Tims?
No, I think we had multiple people.
Well, this is going to be a nice finish here. We got Mid Carolina. Is that Mid? That's Mid Carolina.
Chapin, that's Chris Gleaton. And then you got Union coming up. Union's going to say.
Man, look at Chapin pushing there at the end. Wow, heck of a finish. So first Mid Carolina, second Union County, third and fourth is Chapin. That was a heck of a finish there. Man, did you see that jump by Cole Hodges? Did he bend that bar back or what?
It was actually almost picture perfect. That's what I think they're seeing right now.
Yeah.
I think that's what our viewers are seeing.
Yeah, that was a perfect jump by Cole Hodges there. Love the Hodges family too. Cole's a 2-sport athlete. He wrestles. Not sure the weight class he pretty much wrestled this year. I think he probably settled in at the 148 or 154, probably 148. Heck of a wrestler for Chapin for 4 years on varsity. And been a great pole for Chapin. All right, so next heat's up. The next heat 2, has got Richie McKissick from Chapin, Max Stewart from Chapin, Stephen King, Mid Carolina, Easy Asazuwa from Airport, Jack Riley from Chapin, and Noah Morris from Chapin. So yeah, right here in a minute you're going to see Miss Unger have a chance to jump, and of course you see Cole Hodges jump. So those are 2 featured jumpers for Chapin. Second heat of 400 is getting ready to get started. Right now Richard's telling me they're jumping at 10 feet. Perfect analogy on jumping through the basketball hoop. I can't even touch the rim with my fingertips, much less my feet. There's the shot.
Nowadays, I'm just hoping that I can touch my feet with my fingertips.
That's right. We do have our challenges as we get older. Looks like Mid Carolina's going to take the lead in this one too. Nope.
Chapin.
Is that Chapin? That's Chapin out front.
Out in the front. Now that's early on though. Looks like he's got a good stride. Looks like they're closing in on him a little bit.
That's typically when the monkey jumps on your back about right there, and you realize you're just halfway through.
And then lane 2.
Yeah. Max Stewart.
Looks like Max Stewart. Looks like we're gonna have a
Oh man, this is gonna be a lot of them in here. Yeah. AJ on. Look at AJ on. Man, make Andy and Peggy happy. Come on, AJ, bring it home with a broke hand too. AJ on takes the win on that one. Man, I bet that makes Andy proud. I'll be attending the Jimmy Buffett concert with his parents in a week or so that'll be a good time. Andy will probably chase me around that fast.
I've seen you run, Chris. I don't think you can run that fast.
No, I'll probably just give up. But what a showing by AJ on there. It was a nice show. That's a great heat there. Very competitive. So. Did you make it? Jacob Dixon.
You cleared 10 feet, and I'll tell you, that jump right there looks like he easily got it.
Jacobs comes from an athletic family too. David and Donna Dixon. Their daughter, she is a tennis player. I want to say she's at Presbyterian. Does that sound right, Richard? Yeah. So another good athletic family. Good football player as well. All right, so Heat 3 in the 400 boys. We got Colin Sackey from Airport, Jackson Livingston from Colin Sackey from Airport, Eddie Staley from Airport, Jackson Livingston from Mid-Carolina, Zadarian Savage from Union County, Presley Reeves from Airport, and Jabarius Crosby from Union County. Unger's on the, here she goes. Oh, nice jump. Nice jump. That's Carter Unger. Like Richard said, she's a senior. Going to take her talents up to Western Carolina. She actually moved here 2 years ago, and I cannot remember what state she moved from, but Chapin's been blessed to have her services here.
Sometimes it's not always the length, it's how heavy it is, and also what the flex is within it.
And these poles these kids are jumping with, they're not cheap poles, and they're prone to break over time. So us at the Eagle Club, which Richard and I are both a member of, and we think of the support for all our sponsors and members. We face challenges sometimes buying these poles. So I just happened to be in the office last week, and roadway truck pulled up and delivered 3 new poles, I think it was. Jacob Dixon's back up on take a shot at, is that still 10 foot, Richard? So second attempt. And he clears out easily. Good job, Jacob Dixon. All right, so in our last heat here, guys.
Looks like Airport's out to the lead. Isn't that Airport?
That looks like Airport. So Airport, for some reason, must have had some scratches in this one. We only have three contestants in the 400 last heat 400.
I know that Deuce Staley is from the West Columbia area. He would have played Brooklyn KC and then.
Oh man, you just got a snafu. I'm a Clemson fan, but Deuce Staley played for Airport.
I mean, Airport.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
He has a house.
That's right.
So Hollow, which those kids go to.
That's it. Man, he's out front. Good run by him. Based on his running ability, he probably somehow connected to Deuce Staley. All right, so next up we got the 800. Is that right? No, we got hurdles.
400, crazy, mean, hard race. 400.
Seventh grader just got a minute.
Really?
Our seventh grader just ran a minute.
Wow, that's a 7th grader.
We got 5 seventh graders.
What's his name?
His name is what's his name? Presley Reeves.
It shows him as a 12th grader on here.
No, he's a seventh grader.
Oh man.
He's a seventh grader.
So the winner of that last heat ran a 1 minute 400. He's a 7th grader. One of the coaches from their town. His name is Presley Reeves. That's impressive.
Way to go, sir.
Man, that's impressive.
Way to go,
So-
sir. Yes, sir.
So he cut time by 3 seconds on that. That's impressive. They have your time right there, bud. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great run, bud. Yes, sir. Great run. Guys, a 7th grader. Hey, I'd probably say, I probably can't say this on the air, but you know, sometimes they say, man, he was running like he stole something. Let's hope he didn't.
He ran a 1 minute flat, which sounds like it's PR. And I would say that Staley must have ran a fairly low 50, probably 53, 54.
That's right. Sort of funny to watch these kids. I mean, we see them, you put all this time and effort in and you exhaust yourself over 1 minute. I mean, you practice all week long for hours and hours and it's over in a minute. But it takes that kind of preparation to be good at anything. Alright, so what we got up next, we got the 400 meter hurdles. Tough event, man. 400 is tough in itself, but just imagine running 400 and having to jump over 10 sets of hurdles. So, in lane 2, we're going to have Katie Smith, a freshman at Mid Carolina. Lane 3, we're going to have Michaela Dyer, 11th grader from Union County. Lane 4 is Alexis Stinson, 11th grader from Union County. Lane 5 is Carissa Wicker, 9th grader from Mid Carolina. And lane 6, we got Haley Hankins, a freshman from Chapin. And like I say, Haley's dad is actually the hurdle coach here at Chapin, so she may have an inside track on technique.
I think the Hankins family also likes to swim in the water a little bit.
I think they do like to get wet. And I haven't referenced this, Richard, but you know, looking at this physique that here, good thing the camera's not on me. You can tell I never ran track, but I think in your case, you did some things on the track.
I did, but if you look at my physique, as my wife would tell anybody, it looks like I did nothing.
That's okay. We can always live in the past, like telling a fish story. The fish gets a little bigger. Time to get a little faster.
I was small. You know, back then when I ran in the mid-80s, there was not 400 runners.
All right, here we are in the hurdles, Richard. The gun has been fired. The girls in lane 1. Right now we got Hankins in first in the outside lane. Mid Carolina's now taking the lead about the 150 mark. Going into the 200. Looks like we got Union County. And these colors from Union County and Mid Carolina are confusing me. I think we got 2 Union Counties and 2 Mid Carolinas up.
You know, once again, it's a little bit of a distant race too, especially when you throw the hurdles in there. Sometimes the ones that lead in the beginning get caught at the end.
I told Coach Wright, if we get close to about 11.
Looks like we got Mid Carolina in first with Union County pressing. Let's see what the last. Oh, Mid Carolina's going to take first. Union County second. Union County third. Mid Carolina fourth. Chapin's going to come in 5th. It's a tough event, man. Running 400 is tough enough, but running 400 and jumping over 10 hurdles just makes it even worse.
Like I alluded to, when I ran the hurdles, we only ran the 330. We didn't have a 400 until we went to the board. So Vince and Charlotte were down in Florida. First time they said he got a line up for the 400. They said they were going to throw hurdles in there. I said, Coach, I don't want to do that. And of course, you step up and do it.
That's right.
That's a tough race.
That's a tough race. All right, Heat 2, guys. We got an 8th grader from Airport, Breasia Lester. Georgia Brumfield, a freshman at Chapin. Abby Davis is in lane 4, a 10th grader at Chapin. Lane 5 is Jessica Franklin, a 9th grader at Mid Carolina. And Naza Redding, an 8th grader at Airport. Man, something that just keeps sticking out to me is the youth of these runners. I don't know if some of these schools don't have a middle school team or not, but that being said, that's still impressive for 7th and 8th graders to be running with these varsity teams.
One thing about individual events like this, sports, whoever's got the fastest time, they're the ones that get to participate.
That's right. That was a nice jump by John Mark. He came up a little short, but it's a nice jump. Nice crowd out here, Richard.
Earlier on it was windy, now it's a beautiful afternoon.
Nice crowd, nice day. If anybody's in there and want to come see some kids compete, come out to Chapin Track and watch them.
Yeah, I definitely think that's about 10-6.
Yep. And Richard, what's it said? Like I've heard people say they fall in the box. What does that mean on the pole vault? Does that mean you come down where you stick the pole?
Correct. That's considered a box right there. Something we call the sheet with a box, and that's where you actually plant the pole. Once you plant that pole, if your feet come off the ground, that's an attempt.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. You can run it. If those feet come up off, then it's considered a
Okay.
jump.
And what are you allowed to do? How many attempts are you allowed at a certain height?
3. You get
3 attempts.
And once you're not cleared 3 times, then you're out, and then they will go back to your highest height.
Okay. And you see Unger after making that height, I'm not sure what the height was, but she's got a little bit of swag walking back to the side on that one. That must be, she must be.
10-6. And I think her highest is, I want to say, around 11-6.
Okay.
Thereabouts. But I like how she got off the mat quickly.
Right.
She got off the mat, that pole was still up there. It was a good jump was over.
So is that what it means? You have to get off the mat?
You have to complete the jump. You're supposed to be making an attempt to get off.
Okay. All right, here's the finish on the 400-second heat hurdles. We got Airport in first, Airport in second, and Chapin in third. So next, these hurdles will move up 2 spots, and the boys will take the track. In this heat, we'll have, in the first heat, we'll have Adam Beanball, who is a 10th grader here at Chapin. Then we got Noah Rankins, also a 10th grader. Will Lauer, 10th grader Chapin. Colby Samuels, 12th grader Mid Carolina. Ligurian Steele, 11th grade Union County. Ryan Norwood, 8th grade Chapin. Forrest Ward, 10th grade Chapin. And Adam Paris, 11th grade Chapin. Next event will be the 800-meter girls. So right now they're sort of out here in the area warming up around me. And my daughter is actually coming over to say hello. If you get a chance this Friday and you're a student at Chapin, you should vote for Cameron for sophomore board. Oh, she's now in.
Alright, that's team results through the 400. And these are just results.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to update you on some stats. Through the 400 meter boys, you got on the girls side, you got Chapin's leading with 40, Port with 18. Third is Union County with 17. 8 AJ On from Chapin, finished second with a 56.61. Ben from Union finished fourth with a 57.08. And Jason Jenkins from Chapin finished fifth with a 57.36. On the 1600 meter girls, we have Justice McClintock from Union, 11th grader, ran a 5:58. Meredith Ushery from Chapin, senior, ran a 6:10.85. Devin Jones from 8th grader from Chapin ran a 6:17.02. And Addison Blackman, senior from Chapin, ran a 6:17.53. And McKenna Bradley, 11th grader from Chapin, ran a 6:23.81. On the 400 meter girls, Aaliyah Miller ran a 1:10.66, and Jelena Smith ran a 1:11.49 for a 5th place finish.
Over the pole vault, they are 11 feet. Unger's best height is 11.6, which is a school record.
And being 11 foot. Pole. I want to say that was Adam Beatonball just fell. Yeah.
Hey, did you like it?
Man, he popped right back up.
Well, you know, over on the pole vault, there's so much technique. We just had an athlete walk up. She says that her leg is tired and burning. You know what we call that?
Yeah.
That's good.
Cameron,
That
you
means
can.
you're getting 100% out of your body.
You got this. There's a trainer on standby.
Good advice, Asa. My daughter just walked up and said my legs are tight and don't know if I can run. And so Richard and I are old school, and we're just like suck it up and run. So we'll see what happens here. She's talking to Coach LeGrand right now. I'm sure he'll give her that old school advice too. So let's see how this works out for her. If she doesn't run, I'm gonna have to step away from the mic for a minute.
I was fortunate enough earlier during the broadcast, an old coach of mine, back in football, and Chris and I just had a conversation about him. Coach Snyder came over and spoke to him. He's the old fighter with Chris and I that they shake it off. They're not hurt. No pain, no gain.
Is that Brett's dad?
That's Brett's dad.
Is he here?
He was here earlier. I'm not sure if he's still here.
Okay.
He left.
Okay. Love Brett Snyder. We called. I just took some time with Brett and went to Destin with a group and had an opportunity to spend about 6 days with him and we actually nicknamed him Babs. If you've seen Brett in a while, you'd probably say that you know where Babs comes from. Brett spends a lot of time in the gym and someplace I need to be. Here goes Cole Hodges for. Oh. So Richard, since he went up, that's a official jump.
Official jump. That's a scratch.
Okay.
Scratch, miss, whatever you want to call it. He missed time. He hasn't been bent, but he didn't have to push up at the same time. He got stuck in no man's land.
Okay.
Now, Jay, going back to his experience in college, he has an apparatus that he does where he hangs the kids upside down by the feet so they can feel what it feels like to throw your feet up. It's not natural. Who wants to be throwing your feet up and your head going down and your chin stuff out?
All right. Here's the second heat of the 400 meter hurdles. Well, looks like Clay All. I think Clay All's out in lane 7. He's showing good form. He's out front. So we got Chapin in first. Mid Carolina's in second. Mid Carolina's in third, fourth. Chapin's in
Actually, I think you
fifth.
got Union in first in lane 1.
Okay.
Looks like he might be in the lead. Yep, he's jumping over first.
Yep.
As my coach said, the first one over normally is the first one that wins.
That's a good. That's right. Let's see how they finish here. Oh, the monkey just jumped on one of them's back. Like I said, it's tough not to run 400 meters, much less run 400 and jump over 10 sets of hurdles. Wow. Right. That's all right. All right, so let's see what we got here. See, in the 800 meter girls, a crew of them here. We got 18 of them. So we got Justice McClintock from Union, Meredith Ushery from Chapin, Tessa Burt from Chapin, Halia Miller from Chapin, Dara James from Chapin, Katie Barfield from Chapin, Lexi Cease from Mid Carolina, Devin Jones from Chapin, Erica Davis from Chapin, Mary Knoll, Chapin, Leslie Benitez, Mid Carolina, Emily Davis, Mid Carolina, Krista Collenbach, Chapin Love, Krista Collenbach, great family, Mary the mother, Nikki the sister, who was actually held a record here at Chapin at one time on the 4x1, Aaliyah Edmondson from Airport. My daughter, Cameron Watson, comes in, and Ella Bishop from Chapin, Courtney Hicks from Union County, and Arena Garcia from Airport.
Chris, I'm just informed we need to take a quick break. So we'll be back on in just a couple of minutes, but right now we're going to have to take a break. We'll update you on the action when we return.
All right, sounds great. That completes the 800 girls. I think the winner was somewhere around 245.
I hope not. That means that she's way off.
Maybe so. Sorry about that. I really wasn't paying attention. I got a little sidetracked, frustrated.
Oh, you must have been watching your daughter.
I was, and getting text messages from my wife saying, "What the heck?" All right, Unger's going for the school record, 12 feet. Let's see how she does.
Is that what he said?
Yeah. I'm sorry, 11.7.
Currently holds it at 11.6. I know there's been a little bit of confidence thing going on this year. She seems to be extremely focused all day.
Hey, Richard, why were you shaking your head early on? What did you notice?
I noticed some facial expression starting to change, and it started to change right there. It was, she didn't think she had it.
Right.
Typically when you don't see the facial expression change, it gets more intense. And right there, it looked like her head. I think she has it. I think she can do it easy. And I think if somebody can show a video where she covers or goes over 11.6, that she probably has 11.9 in it. Maybe stretch 12. But in her mind, it's a personal best.
Right.
You see it all the time in weightlifting, where you've got somebody that's doing 275, and they can't get 300, they get 295.
Man, look who that is, Richard. That's Marcy McLeod. Wow, look at the hairstyle. Like that, Marcy. I am live. Marcy, you want to speak? Yeah. Marcy and I agree on lots. The only thing we don't agree on is the fact that Marcy is a Florida State graduate and I'm a Clemson graduate. But we love some Marcy McLeod. All right, we're going to get her on live here. All right, you're live now, Marcy. How are you? I'm good. What's up with the new do? I like the hair.
Thank you.
Yeah, it looks great on you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, maybe I'll get mine cut a little shorter.
Can you go shorter?
I don't think so. If I go any shorter, I'm not going to have any hair. I'm at that age, at 44, I don't retain my hair very well. Yeah. How are you doing today?
What's that?
How are you doing today?
Great. It is warmer, but I'm glad the kids are staying hydrated.
That's good.
No heat illnesses.
Hey, tell us a bit about that program that you put Jake through, that when a kid's injured, that they go through a process and maybe return into action. I guess it clarifies the right to play and right not to play. Tell us a little bit about that.
I didn't catch the first part of the question. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, when Jake had his injury,
Yes.
Before he could return to action, you put him through a series of tests and he had to grade out in order to return to play. Tell us what that is and how you came about that.
Okay. Well, I took Jake through the functional movement screen, and that's something new I'm introducing with athletics, with our athletes. Hopefully starting it on some of our healthy athletes prior to their injury. It's supposed to assess their functional movement or their base movement foundation. And it's a series of 7 tests, and it gives you a score, a numerical score. And the score that you have is associated with your injury risk,
Okay.
Mostly chronic non-contact injuries. So the goal of rehab when you rehabilitate an injury is to get the athlete back to where they were prior to the injury. But I want to take it a step further and not only get them to where they were prior, but get them even better,
Right.
so that we prevent other injuries from happening.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I was talking to Richard about that, and as parents of athletes, or what we consider to be athletes, sometimes when they bump their head, bruises, or come on with bruises and cuts and that kind of work, like suck it up and go back to action. But then comes someone like yourself that's more analytical about it and looks at the whole process. What do you find that this test does? Does it take the subjectivity out of it, and it really says this is the factual information?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So it's well researched. We use it across the field between physical therapists, orthopedics, strength and conditioning
Right.
coaches, personal trainers. We're starting to assess the patient on their overall movement, not just looking at the injury or at the side of the pain,
Right.
but looking at the whole organism, the whole body, and
Right.
seeing where was the breakdown prior to this injury happening or occurring.
Now, would you say that this is that we're ahead of the curve here at Chapin with something like that, or is there other schools that are already doing that
There,
at the high school level? I say.
I believe AC Flora is implementing it on the strength and conditioning side
Right.
of things. I need to talk more about how they implement it,
Right.
how to reach more athletes,
Right.
and see how we can implement it here.
Right.
Screening kids prior to their participation in sport,
Right.
and then intervening when we see a deficiency or asymmetry
Right.
from right to left.
Right. I can tell you, I've been around. Rich and I both have been around Chapin sports for a while, but man, we were blessed. When I say blessed, we were excited to have someone of Marcy's caliber here on our staff, and that goes from the fan standpoint, from a parent standpoint, from a coaching standpoint, and an athletic standpoint. Everyone's excited to have Marcy McLeod on our staff.
Well, thank you. I've always had great support too from USC and Palmetto Health and Dreyer prior to that, and I have an excellent staff that
Right.
works with me and helps us reach more.
Right.
So would it be helpful like they do at USC where they just last weekend they were offering free physicals
Yes.
for athletes? Would it be good if there was a system here that you had a chance to evaluate a lot of the kids before the season started? Maybe we have a doctor in a group to do the physicals, because you're looking for the baseline, I think, which you're
Yes,
referring to,
I am.
and to see where you're going from there. Is that something you would like to see implemented?
Yes, and that was when FMS was founded 20 years ago. That was their goal, was to see why do some athletes go through a whole 4 years and they're never in the athletic training room, they're never getting injured, and why are some constantly coming in even after they've been rehabbed from different injuries? And that's where the screening came into play. So it's supposed to be efficient and quick, so that way they can screen a lot of people and know which athletes do we need to pull aside and work with one-on-one prior to doing a conditioning and weightlifting program or prior to starting a sport.
Okay.
Quick question. This is sort of on the interesting side, I think, but when you have the athlete, you have the coach, and then you have the parents,
Yes.
and they have an athlete that is injured. Who's the toughest to work with? Is it the parent that wants them back on the field or on the court? Is it the ball player? Is it the coach? Because you're the one, and probably the only one that has to deal with all of them.
Right. It is definitely not the coaches here.
That's great to hear.
I can't say that for other places, but it is definitely not the coaches. They have been excellent in communicating with me, sending kids that need to be seen. So I feel really good that they are, because they're on the front lines. They're the ones at the practices. Unfortunately, I'm not able to watch all the practices and see injuries like right when they occur. The coaches see that. So they are the first line of defense. They're the first one to respond, and then bring them to me or one of my staff if needed. I think it's the athletes because they want to get back to their sport, and I get it. I know what it's like to be very active and then to be sidelined.
Right.
So no one wants that. They just want to be healthy and play and do well, and we want to see them do well, but we want to see them consistently do well.
Right. Well, I think Marcy, I mean, of course, I've been in your presence a lot via my kids or whatever, but I've never had an instance where Marcy would not be available to questions from a concerned parent or from an athlete from that standpoint. So the benefit that Marcy has, she's here on staff or at the school, and they're also doing a partnership. You might want to clarify, have y'all got it off the ground yet, where if a kid is going through physical therapy, say at an off-site location, once you get to a certain point, aren't you able to continue that here at school?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So ideally I work in conjunction with the PT, the physical therapist, so that way I can monitor the at-home exercises that the physical therapist
Right.
prescribes. So the advantage to having an athletic trainer at the school is I get to see them every day, hopefully.
Right.
Monday through Friday or school day.
Right.
PTs, it's only once a week, 2 times a week, maybe 3 times a week.
Right.
So I can help monitor the at-home exercises the athletes should be doing and just kind of doubling up on their treatment and rehab.
Right.
Hopefully that translates to a quicker recovery and a better recovery.
Right. Right. Well, I want to thank Marcy for stopping in and speaking to us. I would think this your 3rd year at Chapin?
Yes.
So 3 years ago, Marcy would have ran from the opportunity to stand and talk to me because she would have, like most, would probably run. But love having Marcy here at Chapin High, and I'm sure that everyone that's aware that she's here is very proud. And
I know we were very fortunate when Claire got hurt last year for swimming. I just turned her over to her and said, hey, listen to whatever she tells you to do it, and you'll get back whenever you can. So you can't rush an injury. You cannot rush an injury. And most of them, when they do, I feel they get injured again or they never come back and they injure something else because they're compensating for the other. And
Exactly.
you're not 100%. So thank you for what you do for us.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Well, both of your student athletes have been great patients, and it makes me happy to see that they have made a full return and are able to participate in the sports that they enjoy.
Yeah.
I know that helps academically, helps
does.
mentally.
It does.
Athletics play a huge role.
It helps at home, too.
Yeah, and it helps socially too.
So, yeah.
to keep them occupied throughout the day is always a plus. But
Well, so far Jake has the highest score. Of
oh really?
everyone I've
Okay.
screened.
Okay.
That's an 18.
Okay. Well, hopefully, let's see. That's about what the ACT score was. So, gosh, I will say it was higher than that.
Think about all tests. You can take it again.
Yeah. Oh, well, let's see. I'd rather have a higher ACT score, but actually, no, it was actually higher than that. But it sounded relatively funny. So,
Well, it can help improve their FMS score, but I don't know about
That's
the
it. That's it. I can't help
academic
it.
score.
Yeah, I cannot do that as well. So, well, thank you for your time, Marcy.
You're welcome.
And
Excellent questions.
how about Go Tigers? Can I get a Go Tigers from you, Marcy?
You don't have to do that.
I think
you don't have to say Seminoles either.
I think she's getting ready to go out and break out a war chant. Maybe.
If I remember how to do that.
Oh, I'm sure
It's
you
so
do.
long.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Well, thank you for your time.
All right. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. This one. There you go. Thank you.
Did you guys get the first part of it?
Just to give a quick update, the attempt to break her own record was unsuccessful. She had 3 trips, and on the 3rd time, it just looked like that she didn't think that she had it. And some days the athletes know they have it, and other days they don't. Just to update you, Chris, unfortunately she was unable to clear the bar, and on the 3rd one, she didn't even make a full attempt.
Right.
So, but a lot of times when it comes to that, if they don't get it on the 1st one, it's hard for them to get it on the 3rd one when it is their record they're trying to break.
Right.
It becomes a mental part of it.
Right.
So, and you don't have a lot on the line either. She had already won going away with it. You know, maybe when it's a little bit tougher competition and she's pushed a little bit more, it'll come out. So.
Right. Rich, is this the first time I've seen Sam LaRosa jump? Is this one of his first jumps?
He cleared earlier, and then he went ahead. I think he cleared. I know he cleared 10.6.
Right.
And then he took a break, and you're allowed to do that because what it does is once you go to the height and you go back to where a competitor, 2 of them are tied, where they didn't get to a certain height, then they go back and count how many scratches you had. So if you skip, that doesn't go against your total. So you can say, I pass.
Okay.
But the last thing you want to do is to come in and take it so lackadaisical and you mess up on one, and then that hurts you in your totals.
Right. Well, I hadn't seen Sam in a while, man. He's gained, I don't know how tall he is here, but he's much taller than last time I saw him. He must have hit another growth spurt.
Yeah, but it looks like he hadn't gained a pound.
No, yeah. He gets that from his mother, Dawn. Paul, on the other hand,
What you trying to say?
if he had Paul physique, that pole might not be enough to hold him.
You're right.
No, I love Sam LaRosa and the LaRosa family. So Paul was one time the president of the Eagle Club and continues to give back even after his years of service are over. So right now, just to update you, we're in the 200-meter hurdles, 200-meter dash girls. We're in the 2nd heat, I think. So we're in the 3rd heat. I'm sorry. Airport's going to win this one going away. I would think that is. I don't show her on the heat sheet. We might be in heat 4.
Could be.
Asia Henderson looks like won that heat. In the last 5th heat, we got Reese Adam, Grayson Spitgerber, Kama Elmore, Catherine Mims, Crystal Simpson Fletcher, Morgan Gilliard, and Monica Sanchez from Chapin.
If they show up. I'm looking over there on the back stretch where they're getting lined up, and I'm only seeing 2 of them messing with their blocks at all.
Okay.
Sometimes in a meet like this late in the day, you know, they come up I pulled a hamstring, or I'm a little sore, or you know what, I got a lot of studying to do, I got to get home.
There's Mr. LaRosa right there. See, that's Paul LaRosa. That's Sam's dad, standing out on the. He's a Chapin grad.
Here comes his lovely wife,
Yeah.
Dawn, with him. I'm not sure what he's coming here for,
I think
but
he might really help put the mat back on the pole vault here. Let's see if we can get Paul over here on the mic for a second. You're live right now. Hey, Paul, tell us a little bit what Sam did today.
Sam was able to clear 11 feet. It's a little short of his personal best, which would be 11.6. But the region meets next week, and so we'll gear them up and see how they do.
Now, 11.6. I mean, Rich and I were just trying to put it in perspective to the folks listening. Basketball goal is 10 foot.
That's 10 foot.
Yes. So to get your feet up 11.6 is just unthinkable for someone that can't jump like me.
Absolutely. I don't know where he didn't get it from me, and I don't think he got it from his mom, but he just picked it up in 11th or 8th grade and started enjoying it. But it's 11.6 to 12 is essentially jumping over the whole basketball goal.
Okay.
From the top of the backboard.
and then landing on your back.
And landing on your back and walking away, and then trying to hire.
Which is all natural.
Oh yeah.
All right, we'll put it all in perspective for us. What is 11.6 on the Chapin side? Is he and Cole Hodges sort of in that same range? Or?
Cole Hodges has cleared 11.6. They look at it as the way it was explained to me, because I have absolutely no knowledge of the sport until Sam started to do it, is that once you obtain a height, then you can always obtain that height again. It's kind of like it was like riding a bike once you learn to ride it. So Sam was able to get 12 in a practice, but his personal best is 11.6 in a meet. And Cole Hodges has got 11.6 in a meet before also. And the Hale, I'm drawing a blank on his first name, but the
Sean Hale?
No, it's not. It's not that Hale family. He's a little bit shorter than Sam.
Oh, just
the real powerful kid. He's got an 11.6 also. And last year at the state, Sam was able to make the state and made 11.6 and got 6th place. So
did he get 6 in the state?
He got 6 in the state.
Oh, wow.
11.6.
Wow, okay.
And you always have that outlier. I think there's a kid, even though it's 5A, there's a kid down in Wando that's jumping like 15. And just to put it in perspective, you saw how it was when Sam was jumping at 11. You're like, oh my gosh, take another 5 feet, 4 feet, and add it to it. I mean, it's freakish looking to me. I don't see how they do it and keep their wits about them.
Now, what is Chapin's school record?
I don't think we have lost. The boys have lost a meet.
But I'm saying the pole vault record.
The
school record.
I think is 14, and it's something. It is a unique sport. You got Carter Unger, who is, and I believe I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. Mm-hmm. She's got a scholarship to Western Carolina to pole vault, and from the female perspective, Carter's one of the best in the state. And as we saw today, I mean, she cleared 11 easy, and she has the school record, and so that's pretty amazing to see her come in. And there's some younger kids. That's the one thing about pole vaulting, is that these younger kids are picking it up. And at Chapin, it's if you win pole vault, it counts the same as if you win the 100-yard
Right,
dash.
that's
and,
right. That's right.
and so that really helps the teams out.
Now, do the girls and boys practice together?
Yeah, they do. They do. Jay Dixon has done a great job. Jay is a parent volunteer and come out. He jumped for Auburn,
Right.
And so he's really done a good job of picking these kids up. And they had a coach a couple years ago that jumped for Clemson. So we're fortunate that Chapin kids are pretty fortunate that they have some professional grade coaching that has gone in and worked with them.
Jay says he likes to get them as early as they can.
Yeah.
As soon as they're allowed to jump, I order because he says when they're younger they have less fear.
Yeah.
When they get older, then they start saying, "That's a basketball. I'm not doing that."
Yeah, absolutely. And if you really study it, you'll see some kids who are jumping when they jump at like 10 feet, they clear it by 2 to 3 feet.
Right.
But when they go up just even a half inch more or a half foot more than a foot, it's like having to jump off a high building. They just it gets in their brain and they can't do it.
Now, just standing here looking, I know Jay and Kathy Dixon. They don't have Hunter or Parker. Neither one of them are jumping. So Jay's out here just to share his
Jay's
knowledge?
out here. He last year I believe Hunter jumped, and then with wrestling and trying to keep weight and all that, I think it was just too much on him because he did such a great job in wrestling this year. That Jay just comes out and does it out of the goodness of his heart. There was a meet this past Saturday, the Bojangles Classic over at Spring Valley. There's only 2 Chapin kids, and Jay messed out there, coached them up, and the kids jumped, and then he went home. It's
Okay.
It's those unsung heroes like Jay and those guys that just volunteer their time because they love the sport and love the kids. It's pretty amazing.
All right, I got 2 more questions for you. See Jacob Dixon. Is this his first year jumping?
I don't remember him last year, but I think it is.
Okay.
There's like 4 kids that are jumping 10-6
Okay.
that are underneath, and that's just. 10-6 would have got you probably 8th place last year in the state. So
Right.
there's the Chapin is really. But Jacob Dixon's a good-looking kid. He's strong. He's built. The issue with Jacob's going to be is he's such a good football player.
Right.
It's the 2 sports really aren't compatible.
Right.
You keep lifting weights. It's more of like you look at Sam, who's tall and lanky. That's a good sport. Pole vaulting is for Sam, and Jacob's got the strength and power, but at some point you get too big and too strong.
That's right.
But
That's
you
right.
gotta be fearless. You just got to throw it to the wind. You got to be fearless.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
One more question. We're
Yep.
going to take a trip down memory lane.
Oh, goodness.
So Rich and I have gone, and our fish stories have gotten
Yeah,
bigger.
oh, yeah.
Our times have gotten faster, and our jumps
Oh,
have
yeah.
gotten higher. Got any track stories from your days at Chapin?
I can remember people running real fast. I probably played baseball my junior year, so I never did actually run track. God gifted me with a great athletic mind, not so much athletic ability, and so speed, jumping, all the things that are required in track, I was not graced with.
So you're saying you better just brute force.
I could hit you pretty hard, and basketball was a sport they brought me in to, get some quick fouls and scare some people. And but yeah, the track was grace was never my sport.
Well,
So
we'll leave you on this. Paul has been an instrumental supporter of Chapin athletics for many, many years and has 2 great kids. Charlie will be graduating Chapin in May and be attending the Citadel. And then Sam will be a rising senior. He's a current junior here at Chapin. But Paul and Dawn have been great supporters of Chapin community and Chapin athletics and academics. And his son Charlie, make me correct here, was he student body president or senior
he
class
was
president?
senior class president,
Right.
and he's really into politics. He gets it where I don't even get it. He really pays attention to the news and follows that kind of political intrigue.
So he's on Twitter a lot.
He's on Twitter. He'll watch Fox News for a little bit and then flip over to CNN, and the Citadel will treat him very well. He needs to go down there and be knocked down a peg like they have a good tendency to.
Which
as I know firsthand, and they will. It's a great school, and if there was any kid that I can think of that will fit into that place, even though he's my own, I'll say Charlie will be a good fit down there.
How about the next year? How about
Sam, I've often said that Sam has already been offered a full scholarship.
Oh, really?
Yeah. University of Paris Island
Oh.
has already offered him.
There's some similarities.
There's a bus that'll pick him up in Columbia and drive him down there. They're going to feed him. Now Sam is where Charlie's stoic and serious. Sam's a little bit of a free spirit in the best possible way. And Sam says he wants to go to the Citadel. I don't want to push him. It's a decision he's going to have to make and on his own. And right now, I just know he's enjoying high school. That's for sure.
Wow. Well, Paul, we appreciate you stopping by. I
Yep.
appreciate all your continuous support for Chapin community and Chapin High School.
It's hard for people to understand the kind of community that we have up here, but you stand up here and people stop the track meet so that they can put their hand over their heart for the national anthem for the girls soccer game. And then you got the boys baseball game going on the other field. It's a family environment. That's for sure. That's why we're all pretty close up here, and I will enjoy it after my kids leave.
Yes,
that's
sir.
for sure.
Well, we appreciate your time,
Yep.
Paul.
All right, guys. Y'all take care. Appreciate it.
You too.
Yep. Bye bye.
Thank you. That was pretty cool having Paul on there. I mean, Paul's born and raised in Chapin. Did he start out at Irmo and then move up
when
to
he was
Chapin?
younger. He was younger. Because his sister graduated from Irmo behind me, and then they moved up almost immediately. So I want to say he came up in 9th grade, maybe 10th grade. But I think it was really 9th grade he came up here. Yeah, but at that time we started having more and more people going from Irmo, because Irmo was one of the largest schools, and Chapin really offered a lot more opportunities for so many people. And back then, everybody thought Chapin was just too far out there. Nobody wanted. I couldn't believe we could live up there. It's a half a day trip. Now everybody's here, with good reason.
Yeah, we love living in Chapin, bud.
Well, this is our second to the last heat of our boys 200. And one thing that we've got a big advantage up here is we actually have lights on the track. And we're gonna have to break them out again, I think, tonight, maybe to get some of the relays in. It's going to be close.
Yep, and I think, Richard, they're going to run the boys and girls 3,200 together again, so that'll help. But I think someone might need to be heading towards the switch.
I didn't see anybody walking that way.
No.
Well, when I years and years ago at Irmo, we had to run to the switch too. We asked all of the parents to go and move the cars and do the headlights.
Oh, really?
We didn't have
You didn't have lights?
No.
Oh, wow.
And I'm gonna tell you, we wore black uniforms and with yellow across the front. And there was times when the right person was running, you couldn't see him. You just couldn't see him.
Wow.
And so it was always fun.
I think is that Chapin girls varsity soccer playing over there, Richard?
It is. I think it was JV earlier, and I think they just recognized the seniors.
Okay.
They're number 1 in the state. Our boys baseball is number 1 in the state. Our lacrosse, unfortunately, last night, they won in double overtime. You were there, Chris. You can give a little more insight on that.
Yeah, that was a heartbreaker. I mean, Chapin's relatively new to lacrosse. I think this was 4th season maybe. It's been solely at Chapin. Man, AJ On had a nice finish in that 200 meter there, Richard. So last night we went into the playoffs as a 4 seed and took on East Side. Very contentious, competitive game. Chapin ended up losing the game. I think it was 12-11 in double overtime. But Coach Jeff Morgan's done a tremendous job with that program, basically taking it from scratch and rebuilding it here. So my son Jake's on that team and really enjoys his coaching style and tremendous parents that support that team. So wish them well. Wish them well. That's a fun sport. And give advice if anybody is looking for a sport. Take a look at boys across or girls across here at Chapin as well. I think Chapin still has 42 athletic teams that it supports. So and about that many clubs as well. So if there's something you need to get involved with, a club or a team, there's a good opportunity for you here. So what's taking the track now is the 3,200 meter. Boys and girls are going to run together. And there's Coach Hines. Coach Hines was here for almost 20 years and retired, and he's doing a volunteer basis now. So between Coach Hines and Coach LeGrand, got about 60 years of experience on the track team. So so very, very fortunate here at Chapin, and very thankful for the coaches that we have, the support we get from the community, the support from the administration. Gunther Shutterly is walking by me right now, doing my job. Normally I'm with the hurdle crew, but I got the easy job tonight. So I appreciate Gunther's support and the hurdle crew support. They're probably going to be upset with me for not helping, but my other duty called tonight. So. But it's funny, Coach LeGrand, for you guys that don't know him, his email address is the man behind the stash, man behind the mustache. And he's got a mustache that if you happen to have a 10-speed bike or a bicycle in general, you could hold on to those things for a handlebar.
Well, it looks like they are combining the relays.
They're going to combine the relays as well?
Aren't they doing the relays?
That's the 3200 right
3200.
there.
I'll go to sleep. I'll be back in a little while.
Okay.
But hopefully during the 3200 we'll actually have some updates on some finishes for the field events, the long jump, triple jump.
You guys, I can just hear the announcer. Chapin just scored, and senior Sally Slice, which is Tim's daughter, going to attend Newberry in the fall for a future scholarship, or to continue on her soccer days there. So Sally Slice scores for Chapin. They're leading 1-0 with 36-15 in the first period there.
As you mentioned, Newberry just picked up a huge commitment this week.
Oh, huge commitment.
Wrestling. All-American wrestler. First All-American wrestler we've ever had here at Chapin. And he committed Cole Hell.
And you're talking about a tremendous kid and tremendous family. That Hell family, Robbie's Cole's dad, and he was an athlete here at Chapin, wrestling and football as well. But Cole Hell was a kid that had some goals, set them early on in his career, and just was adamant on achieving them. The work ethic was there, athletic ability was there, and then as a senior, he won the state championship in the 220 weight class, which typically Cole was on the light end of that. But he was a heck of a wrestler at 195 as a junior. So very proud of the Hale family, very proud of Cole. And he's got a younger brother, Sean, that's also wrestling for nationals too. I want to say, I can't remember the exact finish Cole had nationally, but he had a heck of a national finish. He finished 5th nationally, and achieved All-American status on that as well. And he's a great football player as well. So
all-around good athlete.
Yep, and a good person too.
His dad was a good softball player years ago. After his high school and college career, he still played adult softball for a number of years. Good family, all except most of them are hard Clemson fans.
Yeah, and that's okay.
That's all.
We support the Tigers, and Richard supports the game.
We tolerate it. We don't have a choice.
It's all in good fun. But just to bring attention to a couple, we couldn't do this at Chapin High without the community support, and that goes to the Eagle Club as well. That organization is funded by memberships, the sale of banners, concession sales, school board sales, ad sales, and banners and all different types of multitudes. But if there's an opportunity for you to get involved with Chapin, we'd be more than happy to talk to you. But it's all possible based on the donations from the individuals, businesses, and families here in the Chapin community or the surrounding communities.
Yeah, it's not just to the Chapin area. Anybody that has been one of our sponsors, they've benefited greatly. We even have some sponsors that are not actually in our area, and the comment was made after did a sponsorship within a few weeks, made a number of sales from the Chapin community and had to go outside of their community to them. So it's no mistake, it's not just the people here in Chapin. We'll take sponsors from anywhere.
We'd like to give Richard and I are, we're full of personality and stuff, but we're not behind the scenes guy or IT folks or media folks, but Asa and Carter and Jared Dawsey and that whole group has allowed us the opportunity to do things like this, and so we really appreciate what they do for Chapin and for the athletes here at Chapin and for the grandparents and parents and friends that are all spread across the country here to want the opportunity to see their child or their grandchild or friend run an event. Let's see how many. We got Jaden Kingsley coming around. I'm not sure how many laps we have left, but Jaden's out front running the 3,200 meter. So he's the leader for the boys. On the girls' side, I don't know if Amy Aluja, looks like she's towards the front of the pack. I'm not sure if she's the leader for the girls' standpoint.
Oh, y'all just shouldn't see this talented Asa McMeekin. He was setting up the camera for a better view. And when he turned his back, his foot caught the cord. The camera was head to the ground. That's $1,000 plus piece. He had everything set out. He had everything was setting up all by himself. No parents, no nothing. We couldn't have done it. All they do is plug us in and point at us and we go. But we couldn't do any of this, Chris, without these young men that really put a lot of time and effort, and they don't get the acknowledgement. They're not earning a letter. They're not getting acknowledgement in front of the students for the most part. They're behind the scenes.
Like I tried to say earlier, Asa McMeekin and Carter White and Jared Dawsey in that group, I mean, just phenomenal. I mean, if it was up to Richard and I to plug in a mic, we'd probably struggle with that. So very thankful for Asa and his persistence on making it professional.
Oh, I did plug in mics today.
You did?
When I was directed which one to point it in, plug it into. So it was like I knew. Thank goodness some of these things are color coded.
That's right. And we're trying to make some additional advances. I mean, the Eagle Club has supported a lot of this technology and purchases, and we work with Coach Spate, is it, Richard, and his group at Chapin High. But we rely on Asa to tell us what we need from a technology standpoint. So Richard and Asa have been together, coming up with a concept of some wireless cameras to give us some better angles and to make it feel like you're here versus listening. Rich and I's job is to try to make it like we're here. It's hard to do a little bit of the track meet because there's so much going on around you. But hopefully with some advances in cameras, we'll give you some better angles in the future.
Well, as you're saying, Chris, right now, here's a prime example. We've got baseball going on to our right. Directly in front of us, we have the finish line. Past the finish line, we have the soccer field. So we got the girls soccer, we got the boys baseball, and then here. What Ace wants to do, and I'm wholeheartedly agreeing on it, is we'd have 3 cameras, and a couple of them would be wireless. So we give a live update from the baseball. We give a live update from the soccer or lacrosse. Right now, we don't know if we can get all the way to the softball, but we can also give true live updates from shot put and discus. So, and this is really true. This is Ace's idea, but it will give you the true feeling because we have so many things going on here. Paul alluded to it. We're one of the very, very few venues that you can stand in one place and see 3 different teams playing.
And that's the cool part about it. You pay one entry fee, but maybe a possibility, depending on what's going on, you can watch 3 different events. So, thank you. Yes, sir.
Well, Chris, we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
We've got some technical things we've got to take care of. We'll be back in a few minutes.
All right. Yeah. All right, guys, we are honored and pleasure to have Dr. Akil Ross here in the center of the track with Richard Ouzts and ourselves. So, Dr. Ross, what you think?
One, I'm impressed that Chapin High School is not only hosting events here and on campus, but we're broadcasting the amazing abilities that we have. We have dedicated coaches and students, and for you all to be out here to showcase this makes me proud. As our students compete, you can scan the horizon here, and you see baseball in competition, girls soccer, and the multiple events in track and field. It just gives each one of these students an opportunity to shine, and I'm excited about that.
Yes, sir. Hey,
I don't know who's doing this kind of thing in high school. I played a little college football, and I can promise you that we weren't getting this type of coverage even in football. And
well, do you want to tell everybody where you played, though?
Well, yeah. To all those Duke Blue Devils listening, keep listening. But you know the truth. We weren't getting this here. So I'm a Duke Blue Devil, and I've tried. Funny story about this track. I was slowly trying to change the Carolina blue to a darker hue because the Alumni Association was writing letters. So we asked for a blue track. We didn't want a black track or a traditional orange track. We wanted a blue track.
Right.
What we didn't know is that the birds thought this was a body of water.
Oh.
So we get more bird leftovers, if you get my drift, on our track. But it's beautiful, and hats off to Coach Grand. They do a great job out here. This is a well-run meet. To know how many people were out here and how well he gets through the events in a timely fashion. I was out with the throwers yesterday in practice, and for them to have their own pit, that's state of the art. The track is doing well, and he runs a great event. So we're looking forward to actually hosting region.
That's right.
Here on the 26th, so that'll be a huge asset. A lot of people come to Chapin for things. Chapin is really showcasing itself as the place to be in academics, athletics, and the arts and the school spirit in total. So we have a great tradition of excellence here, built on great community and supportive parents. I'm still amazed at the setup. We're in the infield, guys. You know, this is stuff that's done in booths with tons of outlets and drop cord. We're on an infield where we used to do intramural football and lacrosse practice and broadcasting across the world. Students are doing this, and our volunteers. What a special place to be. This is what makes Chapin a nationally recognized school. I am amazing. And you highlighted pole vaulters.
We did. And
you know, we have great pole vaulting program in our track and field, and them. I mean, everyone gets the recognition that they deserve, and so I don't even know what the points are, but I just feel like a winner.
Well, I know the girls are doing really well.
Okay, good.
The boys, I think Union might be a little ahead. It's a little hard because we don't know what the field events have given us. I know that we won both the boys and the girls pole vault.
Okay.
You know, hopefully Jay will be able to go back. Coach Dixon will be able to go back on the footage and get to see some of his kids and show some of his kids
All
that
right. Some
you know,
technique
hey,
things.
you cleared 11, but really truly you should have cleared 12.
Right.
You got 12, 11 to 6, you couldn't do it.
Right.
But you should have. It's all up in there. But I'll tell you, our next horizon is that we want to take this wireless.
Wow.
And we want to have, like tonight, as you alluded to, we got baseball, we got soccer going on up here, that we can have cameras doing live updates from baseball, live updates from soccer. Right there, it was his idea. It was his idea.
You know, for a student to do this builds the loyalty to, or maybe just some teachers that builds the loyalty to our school and to that mantra, we are Chapin. This is beautiful.
That's right. Well, you mentioned how beautiful our track and stuff is. We actually have one of the automatic timer camera systems as well. So we get, when people say you have a photo finish, we literally have a photo finish. So, you know, in those times where you have a bang bang finish, we got the times in, we got the picture to determine the winner, which is really nice. And for our athletes and anybody that comes and competes against Chapin, you know, you quickly used to be, it was hey man, what's my time? Well, that's a live feed to your time. But if you want to go back later on in the evening, you'll be able to go online on scmilesplit.com, go to the Chapin track meet and get your live actual time and see where you placed against your contestants and competitors. So, so pretty cool.
Wow.
But a lot of this has to go back to you, Dr. Ross.
Oh my!
Oh man, you're talking about nationally recognized school. How about a nationally recognized principal of the year for you?
Well, thank you. And you know, my saying, this is made by the students made me this, and it's really incredible.
Well, you can say that the students made this, but you know, every school has a good fearless leader, and you've been a great leader for Chapin.
Well,
and
thank you. Just trying to do great communities, make great schools. We have an amazing community and dedicated parents who will be out here and join our booster clubs, our SICs, and help set up a student's vision to make broadcasting and showcasing, and that's you know, makes a new normal. You know, in the South, and a lot of people fill stadiums for football games on Friday nights, but have the vision that we're going to pack the stands for every event, and who knows, in 2 years or 10 years, we may have this set up in the science lab as one of those experiments. Look at his handling the beakers and pouring the chemicals. It's amazing. Yeah, so it is this is amazing here. So
all right, we got a couple questions for you.
Yes, sir.
So as former high school Richard, college athlete, yourself a college athlete, we've all go down memory lane sometimes.
Yeah.
So as we're sitting out here watching kids run faster and faster, you got any track memories in your past?
It's I did run track in college. One meet.
You did?
Yes, I lettered. To letter, you compete in one event, and I did.
What was that event?
It was 100 4x1 relay.
You ran the relay as a linebacker at Duke. You ran the relay.
I
on
was
the track
pretty.
team?
I was. If we're gonna go down memory lane. All right, all fact checkers, turn this broadcast off right now. I was a little faster as a middle linebacker. I was smaller, but at Duke, we knew we weren't going to match up in size, so we would go with speed.
Right.
I ran the 100 in 10.8. I was won the West Division championship in the 100 meters.
Right.
So I actually ran the pin relays.
Really?
Yeah. So I could. The 100 was my thing.
Right.
400, no.
Right.
I would go around and it would never come out of that loop down there.
Okay.
But the 1 and the 2 was it. So ran in one meet in college and pulled my hamstring.
Right.
And then I threw the shot put.
Okay.
And so yesterday, going down memory lane, I go down there and I was looking at the throwers and wasn't saying anything. And coach says, "Why don't you throw one?" And I should have said, I should have said no. Those days are over with. But no, I decided I was going to throw the shot put, try to impress the kids. How do you pull your hamstring throwing a shot put? I pulled my.
It's a lower body.
I came out and said, "How did I pull my?" So pulled my hamstring yesterday in the shot put pit, kid. So just.
Now, did you run track in high school as well?
I ran in high school. Was ready. That's where I ran in 10.8. And we have DC. I'm from Washington D.C. You have the East and the West, and I won the fastest man in the West, the West Division championship, and then you have city title.
Right.
And on the East side. For the city title, I came in 4th.
Right. 1,
2, and 3 were all from the East.
Right.
And those guys, one played at Michigan, and some very, the football team. A lot of those guys, are football players and track athletes, and that's what we did in the spring. So really fast guys, but I enjoyed it, and that was I think, my junior year. I ran the 40 in 4.4.
You said 4.2?
4.54.
You said 4.2?
No.
Is that a fishing story or is that legit?
No. This is a 4.54. I mean 4.45. That was it.
Wow.
4.45, and my jersey was 45.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I could move
on
short distances.
On the relay, I got a question. You might be stretching, and only somebody that ran relays would understand this. What'd you call? Did you say hand? Did
stick.
you say stick?
Stick,
okay.
yeah.
Because everybody has their own terminology.
Ours was stick.
Somebody might say pipe, and when you're running, when you're catching up to the person that you're going to be handing off to, he's going to tell you when to put your hand back.
Right.
So he's going to say stick, like that. So it's a timing thing.
Right.
And I watched somebody today, not on our team, but did the cardinal sin, as when he got it, he switched hands.
Yeah.
Oh.
You never switch hands because you don't want to take a chance of it. Plus, when you switch, you're not running, you're not doing your arms. So
you
didn't know what y'all called.
Yeah,
everybody uses different things.
So running the 10.8 100, what did you run in the relay? Which leg of the relay did you run?
I was always the
anchor?
The beginning.
The beginning.
I was always we call it the pop off or jump man.
Right.
So we
got to the early lead.
I could my reaction was pretty quick, and I get out there. And you see those guys that just stand up right at them and say, "Oh no, this is not going to work out." So, I took pride in rolling out slowly, but I would come out the blocks, and my goal was try to fall on my face.
Right.
And turn my leg so that I wouldn't. And next thing I know, by the time I'm looking up, I'm doing good.
Right.
And now it's just kind of turning those gears. And but it takes tons of practice and, believing in the techniques and having great coaches that will because when you come out in March versus May times,
right.
Those things start to drop. So
right.
it's really, really cool to see the progression. Coach keeps their records on the board,
right.
and everybody's pushing to do their personal best,
right.
get their personal records in, and so it's exciting to see the growth of all of these programs and players.
All right, we're live, Coach Dr. Ross here, so I'm gonna put you on the spot. So
all right.
How does a guy from DC, east or west?
I lived in the East.
Okay.
But I went to school in the West.
Okay.
So school of choice.
Yeah. So how's a guy from DC living in the East, going to school in the West? How's he end up at Duke? What's that path sort of look like? Is what's that inner drive that got to kill Ross from DC to Duke?
Yeah, it's hunger, what I would say. I mean, I think there's no other way to describe it. I lost a good friend really early, Walter Jeffries. Nobody mind me saying his name. It's really famous up there where I'm from. But at 12 years old, he was killed, gun violence. And I tell the kids, in D.C., when I was growing up, it was the murder capital of the world. We talk about Chicago today, but in the 80s and 90s, at one point we had 386 homicides in one calendar year.
Wow.
So that's not every night.
Right.
One or more people. So this is a reality.
Right.
And your drive is you're gonna be in the streets, or you're gonna get out.
Right.
A lot of people stayed and did well. Some didn't.
Right.
And I thought for me the best thing was, football was going to be my path out. You just weren't going to beat me.
Right.
So running track and playing football, that was it. Duke never recruited me though. I was never recruited by Duke. I had an offer from a few schools. Navy is one of the big ones. Florida, University of Maryland, NC State, East Carolina University, all offers. But this is going to be bad to say, but the truth is, I won some tennis shoes off a guy for a Duke basketball game.
Okay.
Okay. It's fair and square.
Yeah, we bet some tennis shoes, and I won. And I said I really like this school, so and I started wearing all Duke gear, and one of my teammates got a card it's the Duke helmet, Duke football, and I said, let me see that card. And on the card was the football office. And Mickey Laws was still there today. I saw her in October. She answered the phone when I called, and I didn't know her. She said Duke football, and I said, who's the recruiting coordinator for the Washington, D.C. area? And she said, that's Coach DeLon Malore. And Coach DeLon Malore later inducted into the Canton NFL Hall of Fame.
Okay.
He used to play for Buffalo. He blocked for OJ.
Okay.
Okay. Part of the electric company, if you remember that.
Yeah.
Group there, And I just told him, I said, hey, here are my stats. Here's my grades. Here's my 100-meter time, 40-meter time. This is what I bench, squat. And he said, if you send me a tape, we'll evaluate. I sent him the tape. He said, come on down. I made an unofficial visit. Showed the head coach my highlight reel, and he offered me on the spot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I drove back. I looked at my mom. She said, you better shake that man's hand. So that was it, yeah.
Well,
so,
I know.
Pretty unconventional, but it worked for me.
That's an awesome story. I
Not
know.
aggressive. Be persistent.
Yeah. If I see it, want it, and I think that's the same thing in leadership. You have a vision. It might not be the path that everybody follows, but sometimes you just got to make your own path.
That's right.
And then they call you a leader.
Right. Well, let's see. I know I can't remember. Last year, you were voted as one of the most notable under the age of 40.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you were 40 at the time or 39 or 35. Shame on me for not knowing.
That's all right.
But was that tape you submitted to Duke? Was that on a VHS?
That was on a VHS. It wasn't reel to reel. Yeah.
Hey.
I laughed with the coaches.
Some of us are still we actually did that.
I laughed with the coaches and said they had to splice and all that.
You had to learn how to do that.
Yeah. That was a skill set.
And we spliced our highlight reel together.
Wow, yeah. Now that's what we did. If you look at now what they have huddle and digital and even when I coached football at Eau Claire, you had to meet up on Saturday and actually trade physical tape.
Right.
Midway.
If they wanted to.
If they wanted to. Yeah, most of the times. So now you can just upload it.
Right.
And the exposure is so our highlight tapes, is spliced together on this VHS, which was taped over something else.
That's reusable.
Right. And now they are have these dramatic intros and things, but I'll be honest. I think my level of play, now would not be, would not make it. I don't think that makes it D1 now. I think the level of competition has just how the knowledge that these guys have to have, and how fast the game is moving, how dynamic it changes. These guys really have to learn a lot and dedicate a lot. So one of the things, though, is I believe our students coming from our programs are prepared for that.
That's right. That's right.
A lot of lingo I had to learn. Let's just say we played a lot of man coverage.
We're going to cut you loose here in a second. But what size did you play at? What are you about 6'2", 6'3"?
Yeah, so 6'1.5", and I'll tell the truth, Duke lied. You go back to the program books, you can look it up. They have me listed as 6'2", 225.
Okay.
And and that's because if you're scouting, I was actually 215. There's an inside linebacker at 215. Well, that's who we were going to run at.
Right, that's it.
So, they gave me 10 pounds in the program.
That's good. That's good.
But
and then you put it on the field.
Well, listen, I got trapped a lot. We found out pretty quick. So I moved to the outside. I played bandit position when I finished up. And that was more my speed. You know?
So how old are you, Dr. Ross?
38 years old.
38. All right. Yeah. So you're 38 and you've accomplished a lot. What's the highlight? What do people know? What do people remember Akil Ross for? Is it Principal of the Year? If it's Dad of the Year? Is it under the age of 40? What's Akil Ross? I mean, we're unfortunately getting ready to lose you here on a daily basis at Chapin, and we hope you continue to support us, and we know you will.
Amen.
But what's people want to? What's Akil Ross going to be remembered at here?
I think I would hope this thing of the heartbeat. I know we're Eagles,
right?
And our logo is the Talon, but good to see you. We brought this notion called the heartbeat,
right?
And it's bigger than me. The community has embraced it. The school has embraced it, and we finish when we do the alma mater. The kids form up into this one group, arm in arm, and to me, that's the epitome of school culture. I call that the heartbeat, where we're all connected, and I get to sit in the middle of that.
Right.
And there's an energy there of connectedness. And when I came to Chapin 13 years ago, that's what I saw of this town. It was a town that, back in Westport expansion, they had the wagon trails, and when it was under attack, it would circle up.
Circle the wagons.
They circle the wagons. But what people don't realize is they did that every night, and in the middle of a big campfire, and people would talk and share ideas, and so communities were connected. It wasn't just my house on this; it was everybody was working together, sharing ideas and helping. And when we circle the wagons like that, it's like, man, this is this type of place where you want to be, where you want to live and learn, and so I hope that if there's a legacy at all, it is that, through the construction, through the growth, through the change, we kept the wagon circled.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Well, Dr. Ross, I mean, I've been fortunate to know and be around and serve on some boards with you and stuff. It's been amazing what you've been able to do in the Chapin community.
They have done a great job. As students like this said, let's get 3 generators and broadcast from the middle of the field.
Honestly, Dr. Ross, you're well known. I was in Charleston County yesterday.
Oh, wow.
And meeting with a gentleman named Kim Wilson that is in the same position
Yeah,
that you will be taking.
yeah.
And
He's great.
he told me to tell you hello. I
Yeah.
don't know the next time I'll see him, but tell him to say hello. And
Yeah.
he says he's looking forward to you being in the ranks on the other side.
Yes, I'm going to call Kim.
So
He's,
spoke very, very highly
yeah.
of you. And that's somebody who's been in the education profession for over 30 years.
Yeah, he has been. He's an amazing educator, very well accomplished, and I'm looking forward to picking his brain a lot. So he's done some great things. Yes, indeed.
Well, Dr. Ross, we really appreciate you taking time to come out here with us. But can you do that one heartbeat thing for us?
For all those in radio land, one heartbeat, ready.
It's amazing. I've been in some of those assemblies with Dr. Ross, but he is the only dude or principal I know that you can go up and chest bump with, you can fist bump with, and on crazy days at Chapin, like throwback day or whatever, you know, Dr. Ross can get costume himself. So
great place to work.
And every time I come up here for a sporting event, it's rare that you don't see you.
Oh, thank you.
Which that means a lot because there's a lot of principals and the staff that they just come to school and they're spirit. The way your interaction with the kids, and that helps it, you know, be that one heartbeat. So
well, thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much.
Well,
Appreciate it.
yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
This is cool.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's it for the broadcast.
All right, Richard. Well, thank you
That's
very
it.
much. Do we have any final resorts, Richard?
I do not have the final results, other than that the girls are up 2-0 in the playoffs.
And
so
Chapin's up 2-0 in the
Right.
in the soccer game with about 5:20 to be left in the first half. So that's girl soccer. So Asa, thank you very much, bud. And I didn't plug these cords in, but I'm gonna help Asa unplug them. So,
Same here.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Asa.
Yes,
Good job,
sir.
Chris.
Good job, Richard.